Выше голову. Никто не останавливается. Выше голову. Отлично. Хорошие 5 раундов. Хорошие 5 раундов. Молодцы, молодцы, молодцы.
Dan Hooker expressed respect for Islam Makhachev's decision to move up to the welterweight division, a step even Khabib Nurmagomedov never took during his career. However, Hooker cautioned that Jack Della Maddalena could present serious problems due to his size and power. He suggested that Della Maddalena's physicality might offset many of Makhachev's usual strengths, making the matchup far more challenging than most expect.
გონი რომ მაგ ბრძოლის ხილვა ყველას გსურს და ყველას გინდათ რომ მოხდეს ის რასაც არ ვიტყვი ხმამაღლა მეორე ისლამი და მესამე მესამე რა
Not excuse, always training.
What makes him so crazy?
It's not crazy, you know. This is like what his father did. But with his father, we can sit and talk, hey, coach, today I'm a little bit tired. Can I do something else? But with Khabib, it's not working.
The long-anticipated matchup between Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett is reportedly being set for 2026. Pimblett has already signed his contract and claims that Topuria has yet to finalize his end of the deal, leaving fans wondering what's causing the delay. At the same time, Khabib Nurmagomedov remains hands-on in the training camps of Islam Makhachev and Umar Nurmagomedov as they gear up for their upcoming fights. Acting as a mentor and strategist, Khabib continues to refine their techniques, offer tactical advice, and keep both fighters mentally focused on their respective challenges.
See, man, he's himself, like, credit to Islam, like, doing something that even Khabib didn't dare to try, which is move up a weight class. He's got his own problems. Jack Della's that's a big boy. I've stood next to Jack Della a few times, and you could chop off one of his legs and he's still not going to make lightweight. Like, he is a legitimate welterweight problem, and that obviously takes away a lot of Islam's advantages by coming in there and being a big lightweight, being a strong lightweight. It kind of levels the playing field a bit.
Dan Hooker expressed his confidence in Jack Della Maddalena ahead of his matchup with Islam. Hooker noted that while Islam's performance against Belal Muhammad proved he can deal with powerful grapplers, Della Maddalena has the awareness to approach things differently. According to Hooker, it's not enough to just resist or evade wrestling exchanges. Fighters need to engage, counter-wrestle, and sometimes be the ones to initiate those grappling moments themselves.
A huge ask for Islam. Credit to him for stepping up to the plate and coming up to welterweight. Definitely got my respect for being able to move up a weight class and fight Jack Della. Like, it's something that even, the greatest lightweight of all time, Khabib, who never managed to chase that accomplishment in being a 2-division champion. So credit to him, but it's a huge ask. Obviously, we go with football.
Meanwhile, Beneil Dariush shared that he's slightly favoring Jack Della Maddalena in his bout with Islam Makhachev. He explained that Jack's physical size and strong conditioning might play a key role in the fight. Still, Dariush acknowledged that outcomes in MMA are never certain, but his instinct leans toward Della Maddalena this time.
ADM to beat Islam in that fight next month?
I'd lean with it. He obviously showed that he's highly capable of fighting a wrestler in the Belal fight, and that's a very strong wrestler in itself. Very similar opponent, and JDM is not. He's not. He's smart about it. He knows that you can't avoid the wrestling. You have to meet it head on. You have to lead the wrestling. You have to counter wrestle with them. I feel like gone are the times of guys trying to avoid wrestling. These guys, they've seen that it doesn't. They've seen that avoiding the wrestling doesn't work, or only being defensive with the wrestling doesn't work. You have to wrestle these guys or wrestle them first. That's the kind of method to the match.
In another conversation, Dan Hooker applauded Islam Makhachev for taking the bold step of moving up to welterweight to face Jack Della Maddalena, saying the move deserves respect. Hooker pointed out that even Khabib Nurmagomedov never took on a similar challenge during his fighting career.
Islam versus JDM. Do you still favor Islam in that matchup?
I'm going to lean now towards JDM. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but so I just feel like JDM.
Peniel Dariush believes Islam Makhachev could be in for a tough test against Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322. He pointed out that Jack's size and excellent endurance might work to his advantage, potentially giving him the upper hand, though Dariush admitted that in MMA, anything can happen.
The fight for me really is when Islam grabs a hold of Jack, how good has Jack improved? Because Islam is world class at that and has been for probably his entire life because of the way he trains and where he has come from. So can Jack stop that consistently like he did against Belal? Because he did a phenomenal job against Belal of stopping that. But can he do that against someone who's just cleaner, more technical? On the feet, I think Jack wins it cleanly. I think he'll jab, switching stances. He'll have a bit more fluidity due to the fact that Islam's not going to be changing stances so regularly. So I think Jack can do it on the feet, but the question mark is, can he stop the takedown consistently over 5 rounds?
At the same time, Ian Gary is preparing to face Belal Muhammad at UFC Qatar, a matchup that could bring him one step closer to a welterweight title opportunity. Gary stated that his full focus is on defeating Muhammad and proving once and for all that he belongs among the elite of the division. He added that it doesn't matter who holds the belt, whether it's Jack Della Maddalena or Islam Makhachev, because he plans to face them both. Confident in his rise, Gary declared that he is the future of the welterweight division and is on the brink of showing it.
I'm wondering how that goes. Earlier on, I was leaning towards Islam Makhachev, and now I'm leaning towards JDM, but I don't know why.
Why are you leaning towards JDM now? Tell me, what is it?
I don't have a logical reason for it, but I've just been thinking more about it, bro. He is bigger, he's fast. It's not like he's a slow fighter. He's young. There's not a whole lot like in his game. He showed a whole different game. I've seen his old fights. If I watch just his old fights and not watch his most recent fight with Belal, I would definitely be like, okay, Makhachev has this fight. But after watching him fight with Belal, I think his chances of winning are a lot better.
Ian Gary believes that in the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, Jack could have the advantage in striking exchanges. However, Gary emphasized that the real test will be Jack's ability to defend takedowns at UFC 322. He pointed out Makhachev's world-class grappling background and years of experience, noting that while Jack may find success on the feet, maintaining that defense against takedowns for 5 rounds will ultimately decide the fight.
I'm going to finish Belal Muhammad. That's my goal. That is my single one focus of this fight, is I want to go out there and leave it unquestionable that I'm the single greatest welterweight walk on the planet, because they're going to be able to compare us over the last 7 days, right? From November 22nd to November 15th. They're going to be able to compare us all. I want everyone to say that I look the best. And whoever wins that belt, Jack or Islam, I don't mind. I really don't have any preference. I'm going to fight both of them eventually, I believe, because I believe both of them are going to be up and around the top of the division for a long time. I am going to fight them wherever, whenever, and I will punch a hole in their head, because there is nobody on this planet stopping me from getting that belt wrapped around my waist. We are this close, Ariel, to succeeding in that takeover part 2. I told the entire UFC fan base on the mic, I'm the future, I am inevitable, and I'm this close to prove.
Ian Gary also acknowledged Belal Muhammad's impressive resume, pointing out his knockout win over Sean Brady and his dominant showing against Leon Edwards. Gary said that defeating Muhammad would leave no doubt that he's earned a title opportunity. He added that if he can finish a former champion and current top contender more convincingly than Jack Della Maddalena, it would make his claim to a world title shot undeniable.
Belal has knocked out number 2 in Sean Brady, and he has smashed number 3 in Leon Edwards. So when you smoke Belal, it's obvious what comes next. Now, if I go out there and do that to Sean Brady, someone can have that argument, oh, but you haven't beat this guy, and someone else, and I didn't want any of that. So for me, it actually works out better, Ariel. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. Have you been told, though, you beat Belal, you're next?
When you knock out number 1 in the world, There is nothing else. When you knock out a former champion and who's #1 in the world right now, and you smash him in less rounds than JDM could, then that's all that matters to me. I know I'm getting a world title fight after this.
Ian Gary revealed that he was initially lined up to fight Sean Brady at UFC Vancouver. According to Gary, both sides had verbally agreed to the matchup, but the bout ultimately fell through. He said he realized the fight was off once he noticed that Rainier de Ridder versus Fluffy Hernandez had been announced as the event's main attraction instead.
Islam Makhachev has had some success against our Anzac fighters, Alexander Volkanovski, Dan Hooker. We're hoping that it will not be a three-peat of fighters in our region.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gunning for it. I really want to, obviously just for myself, but yeah, I want to get that win. I'm going to get it back for the team.
Colby Covington believes Islam Makhachev has the upper hand against Jack Della Maddalena. He explained that even though Makhachev is moving up from lightweight, his well-rounded abilities make him a dangerous opponent. Covington added that if Islam can impose his wrestling, secure takedowns, and maintain control on the ground, he'll have a clear route to victory, despite giving up some size.
I saw your video on your Instagram right after the news came out, and you said you wanted it to be a #1 contender fight, and once they couldn't guarantee that, you changed direction. Is that accurate?
No, I wanted to be publicly announced that it was a #1 contender fight. If you're look, me and Sean Brady, you said it yourself at the start of the show that was the fight to make, and the winner of that goes for the world title. I don't disagree with you at all. I think that makes a lot of sense. However, there was a guy, I said to the UFC, there was like when you've got someone, I wanted no excuses. I wanted no one to be able to jump the ladder because of any excuses. So from my point of view, I sought after a fight with Bilal first.
Returning to the main storyline, Jack Della Maddalena has openly called out Islam Makhachev, daring him to take on the challenge in his first welterweight appearance. Della Maddalena made it clear that his motivation goes beyond personal ambition. He's fighting for his team as well. He stated that he wants to test Makhachev's momentum after his impressive victories over opponents like Alexander Volkanovski and Dan Hooker.
Islam versus JDM. What do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
On the other hand, Michael Bisping believes Jack Della Maddalena has a genuine opportunity to pull off a major upset at UFC 322. Bisping pointed to Jack's size, sharp striking, and solid takedown defense as factors that could create problems for Islam Makhachev. He added that Della Maddalena looks to be in peak condition and sees a very real chance of him walking away with the win.
So Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, that has been announced, but I'll tell you what, Jack Della Maddalena is bigger. He showed that he can stop takedowns. On the feet, there's absolutely no question. Jack Della Maddalena is on another level. He's probably got the best, cleanest boxing in the UFC. It wouldn't surprise me if we see an upset here and Jack Della Maddalena is still the champion at the end of the day.
Nick Barnett believes Jack Della Maddalena's style might pose the first genuine test Islam Makhachev has encountered in the UFC. He pointed out that Islam's dominance at lightweight often goes underappreciated, not because of any shortcomings, but because Khabib Nurmagomedov set such a remarkably high standard before him. Barnett also mentioned that Makhachev's title reign has been affected by opponent pullouts and last-minute changes, which may have made his accomplishments appear less impressive than they truly are.
I really think that Jack Della Maddalena has the perfect style to combat Islam and moreover give us what we've wanted out of an Islam Makhachev fight for years now, which is a competitive fight.
Yeah.
Islam, it was really unfortunate for him because his entire legacy as 155 champion is a bit tarnished, and it's not from anything he did, but because of our expectations and how good he is and the footprint that Khabib laid and then he had to follow, it felt very quickly that once he got the belt, there was a big gap in skill between him and everybody else. And then with a couple things like fallouts happening, Arman Sarukian, pulling out like a day before the event, him having to fight Renato Moises Moicano instead. All of those types of things made Islam's career at 155 feel diminished and not as epic as it truly was. So this to me is exactly where Islam needed to go with his career if he wanted to get the respect and the legacy that he's been trying to build since he, had dreams of the UFC.
However, Merab Dvalishvili is confident that Islam Makhachev can claim a second championship by defeating Jack Della Maddalena. While he acknowledged Jack's striking ability, Merab emphasized Makhachev's fight IQ and adaptability. He expects Islam to learn from Bilal Muhammad's recent bout and make the necessary adjustments, predicting that despite the tough matchup, Makhachev will rise to the occasion and secure a second title.